All right, so check this out. You guys sent in these audio files, and the title is Gray Aliens Caught on Tape. Very scary. .mp3.
Wow.
Okay, a little dramatic, but
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm kind of intrigued.
Hmm.
We're going to listen to some people exploring what sounds like an abandoned house, and things get
Well,
weird.
interesting to me right off the bat is we have like no context.
Right.
We don't know who these people are or why they're there or
Yeah.
what they're hoping to find. It's like
Yeah.
we're just dropped right into the middle of a story.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what we're going to try to do today, right?
Yeah.
We're going to piece together this audio puzzle and see if there's any logical explanation for what we're hearing, or if it really is as spooky as the file name suggests.
All right, we need to listen to like their reactions and the tone of their voices and what they focus on, because those details I think will be really key
For sure.
to understanding this whole thing.
Okay, so the recording starts with them entering this house, talking about broken glass, finding dusty old clothes. It's giving me like post-apocalyptic vibes, you know?
Yeah.
What happened here? Why did everyone just leave?
Abandoned spaces are so fascinating.
Yeah.
They really capture our imaginations, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what are the stories that happened here?
Totally.
What were the lives that were lived here?
Yeah. And there's this one part
Okay.
where they find a dress and they react with disgust.
Oh, really?
It's not just like, ooh, gross old clothes. It's like deeper than that.
Huh.
You want to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, here's the dress moment.
Okay.
Hear what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more than just an old dress to them.
Right. It's almost like they're feeling some kind of negative energy, some
Yeah.
like residual feeling associated with the dress, or
Yeah.
maybe it's triggering some kind of primal fear response, you know, something deep in our psyche that like associates abandoned belongings with death or decay.
Okay, so it's getting creepy already.
Yeah.
And we're only a few minutes in.
Wow.
Now things escalate when they head out to the backyard.
Yep.
It's nighttime, they can't see much, and they start hearing weird noises.
Oh, boy.
And that's when it starts to feel really threatening.
Yeah, darkness can do that.
Yeah.
It really amps up our senses.
For sure.
Makes us so much more alert to potential dangers.
Yeah.
And when you're already on edge,
Oh, yeah.
every little sound becomes sinister.
Absolutely. And there's this part where they actually turn off their flashlight
Oh, wow.
because they think something is out there watching them.
Oh, no.
Talk about a primal fear response.
Wow, let's listen to that.
I don't know about you, but I'm already feeling uneasy.
Yeah, their voices like totally change, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy how just listening to that
Oh, for sure.
can make you feel uneasy.
So this is just the beginning.
Oh, really?
I know one of them gets this idea that something is up on the roof making those noises.
Uh-huh.
And he describes seeing a figure
Okay.
that looks like Gollum on the playground.
That is a really specific detail.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what did he actually see? Was it a person, an animal, or something else entirely?
What about the word Gollum? You know,
Yeah.
What does that tell us?
I think it tells us that his fear is becoming more real, you know? It's manifesting as an image in his mind.
Right.
And he's choosing this specific figure,
Yeah.
this Gollum figure, which suggests
Right.
that he's tapping into some deep-seated fear of the unknown, you know?
Yeah.
Something lurking in the shadows that he can't even categorize.
Okay, so we've got an abandoned house,
Right.
strange noises, and now a potential creature sighting on the roof.
Wow.
And this is where the story takes like a really dark turn.
Oh.
They split up, and one of them,
Uh-oh.
a guy named Carl, comes back injured.
Oh my gosh. So is this an accident?
I know, right?
Was he attacked?
Yeah.
Or was it something else?
And you have to consider what this is doing to the group.
Yeah.
They're already on edge.
Right.
Now, one of them is hurt,
Yeah.
so their fear is going to be through the roof.
Absolutely. Let's hear what Carl has to say about what happened.
Okay.
Hit with something.
I know, right? Chilling.
Especially after everything else.
Yeah.
But what does it really tell us?
Well, it tells us that things have escalated.
Right.
It's gone beyond unsettling noises and shadows.
Yeah.
There's potential physical interaction now, a real
Well.
tangible threat, and that changes everything.
So we've got this Gollum figure and a guy, Carl,
Mm.
who thinks he was hit with something.
Right.
And like a ton of fear and confusion. It's a horror movie waiting to happen.
It really does have all the elements,
Yeah.
but I think we need to think about the psychology of all of this
Okay.
before we jump to like aliens or ghosts or something. You know?
Right. Of course, these people are in a really vulnerable position, right?
Yeah.
Exploring this unknown place in the dark. Their senses are heightened.
Mhm.
Their imaginations are running wild. it wouldn't be surprising if they were seeing things.
Right. Fear can really mess with our minds.
Yeah.
You know, it releases adrenaline, which can make us super alert. But it can also make us misinterpret what we're seeing or hearing.
So you're saying that some of this could be like
Yeah.
their own fear more than an actual threat.
It's definitely possible.
Okay.
Think about the figure on the roof,
Right.
described as Gollum,
Yeah.
a fictional creature.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it seems like his imagination is already taking over.
Okay. But Carl's injury can't be just his imagination.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
But even physical injuries can be affected by our mental state. When we're in a panic,
Yeah.
people can trip or fall or hurt themselves
Right.
without even realizing how it happened.
Okay.
It's possible that Carl was startled by something
Uh-huh.
and he just reacted instinctively and got hurt.
Okay. I'm starting to see what you mean.
Yeah,
But there's still this creepy feeling.
right.
Like something isn't right.
Yeah, I get that. And we can't rule out that maybe there is something else going on,
Yeah.
something we don't understand.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's really important to stay open-minded and consider all the explanations.
So what now?
Well,
How do we figure out what's real and what's not?
I think we need to look for patterns,
Okay.
for events or things that happen
Yeah.
that we can't really explain conventionally.
Like what?
Well, there's the house itself.
A house, yeah.
Why was it abandoned?
Right.
Is there something about this place that could explain what's happening?
You know what? You're right. We've been so focused on like the little details
Yeah.
that we haven't even stopped to think about the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
What if the house is part of all this?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Abandoned places can have a lot of history. And sometimes that history can come back in weird ways.
Okay, so we've got this mysterious house,
Right.
the strange noises, the Gollum thing, and Carl's injury.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else?
Yes. Actually, there's one more thing that really stands out to me, and it
What's
might be
that?
the weirdest thing of all.
What is it?
The night vision sighting.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot about that.
Someone in the group says they see a creature
Yeah.
through their night vision goggles.
So maybe it's something we can't see with the naked eye.
Exactly. It makes you wonder if whatever they're dealing with is something that only shows up under certain conditions.
Okay, now this is getting interesting.
Right.
But hold on, before we go like full X-Files here.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we think about more like normal explanations for this?
Of course, we always need to rule out the mundane,
Okay.
you know, before we get to the supernatural.
So like animals,
Whoa.
reflections.
Night vision can be a little tricky.
Yeah.
It makes things brighter,
Uh-huh.
but it can also distort things, you know?
Right.
It can create shadows and shapes that aren't really there.
So they could have seen like a tree branch or
Yeah.
a bush or something,
Exactly.
but their night vision made it look like a monster.
It's possible our brains are always trying to find patterns,
Yeah.
trying to make sense of the world, and that can lead us to see things that
Right.
aren't really there.
So it's like our brains are playing tricks on us.
It's called pareidolia. It's really common.
Pareidolia, I like that word.
Yeah.
So they might have been victims of their own imagination
Yeah.
combined with the technology.
It's definitely plausible,
Hmm.
but it's not the only explanation.
Okay. Now I got to know, what else could it be?
Well, there's this other phenomenon
Yeah.
that often gets overlooked
Uh-huh.
when we talk about the paranormal.
Okay.
Infrasound.
Infrasound, what's that?
It's sound that's too low for us to hear.
Oh,
We can't hear it consciously,
okay.
but it can still affect us.
How?
It can make people feel uneasy, anxious, even scared.
Really?
Yeah, and it can cause physical symptoms too.
Like what?
Nausea, dizziness, even hallucinations.
Wow, that's crazy.
So what if the noises they were hearing were infrasound?
Hmm.
And that's why they were feeling so scared
Okay.
and seeing weird things.
Interesting.
There's actually some evidence that certain places,
Yeah.
like abandoned buildings, can produce infrasound.
Okay, so we've got pareidolia,
Right.
infrasound.
Hmm.
Are there any other scientific explanations?
There's also electromagnetic fields, AMFs.
EMF?
They can affect our brains.
Mm-hmm.
And some people think that they can trigger paranormal experiences.
So you're saying that there could be like a totally normal scientific explanation for everything?
It's possible, but it doesn't mean that these people weren't really scared.
Right.
Their reactions were real.
Yeah. So what does that tell us?
I think it shows that we still have a lot to learn
Mm.
about how our minds work,
Yeah.
how we see the world,
Mhm.
and how our environment can affect us.
And maybe the line between what's natural and what's supernatural is blurrier than we think.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got like a lot of possible explanations here, you know.
Yeah.
pareidolia infrasound EMFs. It's almost like we're looking for the spookiest answer,
Wow.
even when there's a normal one right there.
Yeah, it's true. We humans love to blame the supernatural for things we don't understand.
It's like built into us.
Right. But I also think it's important to stay open to those possibilities, you know?
Yeah, I get that. So how do we do both?
Mm.
How do we stay open-minded, but also, like,
Right.
not lose our sense of logic?
I think it starts with being aware of our own biases.
Okay.
We all have these ideas about the world.
Yeah.
And those ideas can really affect how we see new information.
So, like, if you already believe in ghosts,
Yeah.
you're going to hear every creaking door as a ghost
Exactly.
instead of just, like, a rusty hinge.
Right. And the same goes for being skeptical. If you're only looking for a scientific explanation,
Yeah.
you might miss something really weird.
Okay, so it's about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Like, being curious, but also critical.
Exactly.
We could be open to the mystery,
Uh-huh.
but not let our imaginations go too crazy.
I think this case is a great example of that.
Hmm.
You know, we have these weird events, these
Yeah.
things that are hard to explain, and we have all these different explanations. Some normal, some not so normal.
So instead of jumping to conclusions
Right.
or just saying it's all fake,
Yeah.
we're looking at everything.
Uh-huh.
The science,
Yeah.
the supernatural.
And by doing that, we're not just learning about this case. We're learning about ourselves,
Okay.
about how our minds work,
Yeah.
and about all the things we still don't know.
And maybe,
Yeah.
just maybe,
Yeah.
we're seeing a little bit of something really amazing,
Right.
something that changes how we understand the world.
It's possible, but even if it turns out to be something normal,
Yeah.
the journey is what matters.
Hmm.
Questioning, exploring, trying to understand,
Yeah.
that's what makes life interesting.
So where does that leave us, listener?
Hmm.
Did we solve the mystery of the gray aliens caught on tape? Not really.
Right.
But we looked at a lot of cool ideas.
Yeah.
We questioned what we thought we knew,
Uh-huh.
and we learned more about the connection between our minds and the unknown.
And I think that's the biggest lesson here. Yeah.
The next time you see something weird,
Uh-huh.
don't be afraid to be curious.
Okay.
Don't just ignore it.
Right?
But don't jump to conclusions either. Be open-minded, but skeptical,
Yeah.
and consider everything.
You never know what you might find.
Right, and maybe you'll discover something that helps us all understand this crazy world a little bit better.